Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mythic bringing you guys another video. And as you guys see, we are behind enemy lines as we have Luke joining us today. Where can they find you on social media? He is a Packers content creator, by the way, if you guys are not aware.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube, Sideline Scoop, talking Packers content, as you said.
Let's go ahead and discuss this matchup, man. The Cardinals and Packers have a very interesting history. We can take it back to 2008, where we knocked you guys off on an Aaron Rodgers fumble, recovered touchdown ball game. 2015 in the playoffs, Cardinals came out on top. 2021, not so favorable for the Cardinals, as our season basically died to you guys, and we watched our season collapse as you guys gave us our first loss of the season. What is 2024 have in store for us? What do you think about the Packers' overall season? You guys have been pretty rocky. You guys had Malik Willis step in for you guys. 2-0, Jordan Love went down. Like, things have been pretty rocky, but things have also been pretty solid for you guys. So where do you stand right now?
Yeah, I'd say sitting at 3-2 right now, it's not bad considering Jordan Love dealing with an injury. It seems like he's pretty much gotten over it. Seems to be pretty much fully healed, was running really well last week. And so I think the fact that the Packers were able to get away with that from that injury, sitting at 3-2, I think they're in a pretty good spot overall. The offense, even with Jordan Love being down, did pretty well. Matt LaFleur, great play caller, with Malik Willis coming in, who deserves a ton of credit as well, leading the Packers to 2-0 without Jordan Love. And so now I feel like with Jordan Love getting back into a rhythm, with Romeo Doubs being back after being suspended, I'm hoping that this Packers team just continues to, get some more reps in with each other. That Jordan Love now back in his third game since spraining that MCL. I think things should start to be a lot more smooth on offense. And I think that, you look at early in the season for most NFL teams, they're going to be a little rust to shake off. And I think because Jordan Love went down after week 1, it's almost like he had to start over with that. And then this time he had a knee injury as well. So it wasn't the best circumstance for Love. And that's not to excuse some of his bad play. He's definitely been pretty inaccurate, throwing 5 interceptions in 3 games. But I do expect that to come down a little bit as he, sort of gets back into the swing of things once his knee isn't, or, as bad as it was early. And the fact that he had to come back from the MCL sprain against the Vikings, who are very, aggressive, blitz-heavy defense, that wasn't the greatest game to have to come back from a knee sprain. So all in all, I feel pretty good with where the Packers are at currently on offense. And I think the defense, they've dominated with turnovers. That's really helped them stay on top. They have been pretty average when you look at just, yards allowed, rush yards allowed, pass yards allowed. And so it's definitely helped having a defense that can force a ton of turnovers. And when you have an offense that can put up points in a hurry with Jordan Love, and you're giving him a couple extra possessions a game with those turnovers, I think that even if the defense isn't, a top 5 scoring defense, they can still do enough to allow this Packers team to be pretty competitive down the stretch and hopefully going into playoff time.
And turnovers have been so huge for you guys. Xavier McKinney, we're going to go ahead and talk about him right now. I think is one of the best free agency, if not the best free agency signing by any NFL team through 5 weeks so far? 5 interceptions in 5 weeks. That is ridiculous. How are you feeling about Xavier McKinney and how he's holding that secondary down?
Yeah, no, that was definitely the best addition on the Packers, I'd say, this season. And, to see what he's been able to do in 5 games is pretty remarkable. There's no doubt that was, the Packers needed to bolster the safety room after last week. It was one of the weaker areas of the Packers defense. And even with Jeff Hafley coming in as the Packers' new defensive coordinator, if Xavier McKinney wasn't here, I don't think the Packers would be, leading the league in takeaways like they are right now. And so just his ability to fly around the field, quarterbacks seem to, not be able to keep it away from him. He's just, he's a ball hawk. He flies around, and he's been a big reason this defense has been, I think, overall better than last year, where last year they only had 7 interceptions total. And so he almost has 7 after 5. He's 5, of course. So there's no doubt I think the Packers would easily make the decision to bring him back once again. And, obviously, I think he could have made even more money based on what he got, based on how he's played so far. But that was the best addition the Packers needed to do it. And as a Packers fan, I am very satisfied with the, spark he's brought to this defense, especially when it comes to those interceptions.
Giants fans have to be sick. I think we can agree. Giants fans got to be sick losing Saquon and Xavier McKinney in the same free agency. Like, I knew it was bad, but like, I didn't think Xavier McKinney was going to come in here and just 5 picks off the rip. I don't think anybody did. So, Packers fans, you guys are probably sitting here just in a perfect spot. Seven
Yeah, no, definitely.
interceptions and 5 picks from him alone right now. Let's hope that streak dies, first of all. Let's go ahead and throw this out here. Kyler Murray got to stay away from the interceptions. He's done a good job at that. And speaking of Kyler, we're going to go ahead and shift this a little bit. How do you feel about Kyler as a quarterback? The hate by NFL fans is crazy. Even in the Arizona community, you would be surprised. I don't know if you guys get this with Jordan Love, but like the fan base is so split even right now on Kyler. Like, where do you stand with him as a quarterback, as an outsider?
Yeah, no, I think he's a really, really good quarterback. I don't watch every single Cardinals game, so you Cardinals fans probably have a better overall perspective. But I mean, he hasn't really turned the ball over much. Only 2 interceptions in 5 games, and not many guys can run the ball like he does. And so when you have a quarterback, a dual threat quarterback like that, where defenses have to make sure he doesn't break away from the pocket, I think it sort of helps the limit the pass rush a little bit, because the Packers the first couple weeks, their strategy was to try to contain the rushing quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson. And because of that, they were sort of just allowing the quarterback to sit back in the pocket and pass. And I think that they may try something similar this week, which, even if you stop Kyler Murray on the ground, he's a pretty solid passer, I would say. 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 99.1 passer rating. So I think he's a very solid quarterback, and not one that should be taken lightly. And I think this Packers defense, they have some holes in the secondary. If Jair comes back this week, Jair Alexander, that should definitely help them. But I think the Cardinals offense should be able to get it going with Kyler. I think he's a really solid quarterback.
Yeah, I think the ground game is going to dominate on both aspects. I think James Conner and Josh Jacobs, who is also a free agent signing that you guys picked up, and he's top 4 in carries and yards on the season. He has 400 plus yards and 90 carries through the first 5 weeks. He's been a workhorse for you guys. He's been taking the load after Aaron Jones went to Minnesota, and he's kind of dogging it. James Conner's having a pretty good season too. It's been a little wishy-washy here and there, but for the most part, James Conner's been pretty good, and I think the run game is going to be a focal point in this game. Do you kind of feel the same way for both sides?
Yeah, no, I think that looking at the Cardinals offense, the fourth in rush yards per game, third in rush yards per play, and James Conner, 379 rush yards, 4.6 yards a carry. So he's, they've been playing really well. And then of course you got Kyler on the ground. He's a big part of that running game with you guys. And looking at the Packers run defense, in years past, it had been one of the worst. And right now they're not one of the worst, but I'd say they're pretty average, 11th in rush yards allowed per game and 16th in rush yards allowed per play. And so I do think that that's an area where the Cardinals should be able to take advantage. And the Packers, they played well against the Vikings offense against the running game, but then last week against the Rams allowed 4.8 yards a carry, 134 yards. So I would expect to see the Cardinals really try to get that ground game going, because the Packers aren't great against the run. And so I do think that'll take place. Same with the Packers. They have one of the best rushing attacks in the league. The Cardinals and Packers are pretty similar there when it comes to, total rush yards. And with the Cardinals and their run defense, which is one of the worst in the league, 28th in rush yards per game allowed, 20th in rush yards per play. So slightly below average there. So, and then with the Packers, with Josh Jacobs, as you mentioned, he's been able to stay healthy. He's been really solid. Last year, Aaron Jones, he was good when he was healthy, but he missed a good amount of games for the Packers. And I think that's one reason they went with Josh Jacobs. 3 years younger, probably a little bit more durable than Aaron Jones at this point in his career. And he's gotten a ton of carries. So I do think we're going to see a lot from both rushing attacks this game.
I think definitely the run game is going to be like the biggest exploit for both sides. And I think the ground game is going to get things going. And I think both teams are going to march down the field. And we discussed this. We recorded, actually, believe it or not. And the first thing got clipped. We think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Do you want to give them your score predictions? Because you think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game.
Yeah, I'm saying Packers 34, Cardinals 27. I just think that both offenses are, pretty high-powered offenses. I think that the Packers have a somewhat average defense. If you take away the interceptions, obviously, if they keep doing what they're doing with the interceptions, that'll do a lot for them. But if they do have a game here soon where they don't have a pick It's not going to look as pretty for the defense because it does sort of hide some weaknesses, I would say, the Packers defense has, like their pass rush. And, looking at the Cardinals defense, 27th scoring defense, 25th in yards allowed, 27th in yards per play. And the Packers, even though Jordan Love has been a little bit turnover worthy, he's done a lot of turnover worthy play, had a lot of turnover worthy plays. They can score fast. I mean, they, struggled the past couple weeks early in the game, but then in the second half, the past couple games against the Vikings, put up 22 points, I believe, in the fourth quarter. And then last week in the third quarter, scored 2 touchdowns off of turnovers from the defense. So I think that both offenses, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, a close game, just sort of looking at this matchup here.
Yeah, the Packers are a team that kind of concern me a lot more than the 49ers do, because they can do it. They're more of a balanced offense than San Fran. Like, San Fran can get things going, but if you shut one aspect of San Fran down, like Jordan Mason had a fantastic game, but Brock Purdy in that second half kind of disappeared. I don't think anybody on the Packers offense is going to necessarily disappear. I don't think there's an elite end receiver, but Jordan Love, I am a Jordan Love activist. I love everything that he does, everything that he brings to the game. He is kind of playing a little iffy this season. He's thrown a pick in every single game so far, 3 against Minnesota. And if you watch his all 22, it's throws he shouldn't necessarily make. There's one that went off the receiver's hands, but like outside of that, everything is just like, it's just not a good ball. But Jordan Love, I think, will clean this up. We kind of saw it last season. The second half was elite for him. I think he's going to clean it up. And I think this might be a game where he kind of gets things going. It's kind of a statement breakout game for him. I'm a little scared. Not going to lie, I'm a little scared because my score prediction is that the Cardinals will win this 24-21, and that's not a confident win. That's not me sitting here with full confidence that the Cardinals are going to win this. You're probably a lot more confident in yours than I am in mine. I'm going to keep it honest. But I am excited for this. Like, this is an exciting matchup. This is something that both teams have something to prove. And that if the Cardinals can actually get back-to-back good wins, because these are 2 quality football teams. The 49ers haven't been fantastic. We got a big win against Seattle recently. But Green Bay just came off a win against the Rams with their franchise quarterback coming back, which, by the way, how lucky can you guys be? Brett Favre to A-Rod to Jordan Love. Just ridiculous, man. Cardinals fans, we're sitting here with Kevin Cobb, John Skelton, freaking Matt Leinart, like just poverty.
Yeah, the Packers are good at drafting quarterbacks.
You just got an eye for talent, man. It
Yep.
doesn't matter the team, doesn't matter the GM. You guys just got it. And it's got to be nice. It's got to be nice to have stability and winning.
It is nice because basically my whole life, I mean, when I was born in 97, the Packers won the Super Bowl. So, I grew up watching Brett Favre, then to Aaron, now we're at Jordan Love, it's nice to have the good quarterback play. I think lots of other NFL fans thought that the Packers streak was going to end just based off of odds. It's like, how can you get another good quarterback? But the Packers seem to have done it. It is still early in Jordan Love's career, but I'd say he looks the part. And that's one thing for this game. I think it comes down to turnovers, which, I mean, most games do sort of come down to the turnover battle. And so the question here is Jordan Love going to keep, making these bad decisions, or is he going to clean it up? And will the Packers be able to force turnovers against the Cardinals and pick off Kyler Murray or not? Because he's played pretty clean football. So that's going to be a big part of this one.
That is the one thing with Kyler Murray this season that I've kind of seen a lot better improvement is that he isn't throwing a lot of turnover balls. Like every season, I believe he's like 10 plus interceptions. This season, he's at 2 right now, and one came to Nick Bosa on just a ridiculous play. Read a screen pass. I mean, you just got to chalk it to the game at that point. Like, it's just a bad read, but like ridiculous play by a defensive lineman. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Xavier McKinney can keep it up, because I mean, it seems that even these good quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford are getting picked off by McKinney.
Who have you guys played? Who was he picked off?
So if I pull up the Packers and their schedule so far, Eagles week 1, Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson week 2, Will Levis week 3. So those guys have thrown a lot of picks. Sam Darnold, and then Matthew Stafford. So there's been some good quarterbacks in there.
Darnold and Stafford have been balling though this season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Stafford. So picking off Stafford is always fantastic for you.
Right.
So to continue the streak against Matt Stafford it's pretty nice. So Kyler Murray, let's just go ahead and go into week 6, stop that streak, and just let him come down to earth a little bit. Just win the game. You can go get your 6th pick the next game, just not this game. Or if you want to do it in garbage time, like go for it. Just let us get the win. We're okay.
We'll see.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this, man. This is going to be a fun matchup. So, Cardinals
Yeah.
fans, Packers fans, if you guys are tuning into this, go ahead and drop your score predictions down in the comment section below, man. Let me know how you guys are feeling about both of our predictions. And if you guys want to check him out, man, he creates Packers content, like he said. If you want to shout it out one more time, where can they find you?
Yeah. So on YouTube, Sideline Scoop, and then on Twitter, Luke Beller 3. So that's that.
I'll also have it underneath probably both of our face cams where you can find us all on socials. So if you guys want to check him out, that's where you can find him. You can probably find mine down below. But appreciate you hopping on, man. It was great to have conversation. Get behind enemy lines, man. Cardinals Packers collab. We got to hop back on once again.
Definitely appreciate you having me on. It was fun talking, and it should be a good game. Hope so.
I really do, man. I don't think I could do a blowout. I don't think I can do another blowout loss, man, as a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video, man. If you guys did enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post NFL and Arizona Cardinals related content. So if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic and Luke. Peace out.